Welcome back to my channel and to another routine of trying to be that girl, but in the Christian version of it. This is a pretty busy weekend in my life. But first off, I wanted to stop for a second and explain a little bit what Christian means, or what is my idea of what Christianity means, or what is it like to be called a Christian, and then explain to you the definition of what people mean with that girl, right, or the trend that's been going. So I was actually reading through Acts the other day. It's actually on Acts 11 if you want to look it up, and pretty much is the history, right, of how the church became to be, after Jesus died and all of that. And then it says on verse 26, I think it's part C probably, it's the very last part, and says, and the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. Okay, so we're going to begin with verse 23 on chapter 11 of Acts, and it says, who, when he came and had seen the grace of God, was glad and exhorted them all that with purpose of heart they would cleave unto the Lord. Everybody came together, and it says that they were exhorted with a purpose of heart, and that purpose of heart was to cleave unto the Lord, basically to live for him but be like him. So looking into it, right, they started calling Christians someone whose behavior and heart reflects Jesus Christ. It was just like a nickname, like saying, wow, you're like Jesus, right? And it's so amazing to think of the life they had for Jesus, so much that they resembled him that the people started calling them that. I feel like the definition of Christianity has been lowered during the past few years, of course, because anybody can call themselves a Christian now, and they don't necessarily show a change, right? And it definitely is really hard to keep up a good testimony so that people can know that, okay, you're a Christian because you are like Jesus, right? So basically that's my purpose with this type of routines, or why I put the title of That Christian Girl Routine. As I mentioned before, I got the inspiration from another YouTuber who did this, and I thought it was pretty cool because the definition of that girl is very earthly, and honestly, Jesus should be like our biggest trend, something that never goes out of style, right? So definitely adding these into those type of routines, it's very interesting for me. I just like any type of excuse to make sure that I add Jesus into my daily life, because if it's not with him, honestly, nothing has much sense. So now let's look into the definition, or what the world means with that girl, or why is that included in the title of the video. It is honestly very simple to know what the world thinks that girl is, and it's basically, like your perfect girl, the girl that aims for success and that is super aesthetic and just, has everything in order. You can look at a lot of inspiration in Pinterest. They even have like quotes for you and different type of pictures and stuff, and well, obviously there is YouTube where they have a lot of information on it, and you can totally look for it. But basically it just means a perfect person, a girl that has everything in order. But where have you ever seen that? So the only trend I want to follow is being that girl for Jesus.
Sunshine, never mind, oh, bring me all of your gray skies. The moonlight never seems so bright until it's the only source of all of your light. Oh, someone's calling, it's not me. They'll scream and talk about your destiny, but sunshine, never mind, give me all of your gray skies. I can't hide from the skies above. They're chasing me down, trying to find your love. I didn't mean to take it this far, but here we are crying in the back of my car, saying it's your fault, but it's okay, cause I promise I'll love you anyway. So sunshine, never mind, oh, bring me all of your gray skies. Yeah, the moonlight never seems so bright until it's the only source of all of your light. Oh, can't see the future, can't see the past, I can only hope that this will last. Oh, sunshine, never mind, bring me all of your gray skies. Love has new faces, but it's still the same. You may be the one, but it could be a game. It took me too long to realize, oh, that I'm stuck on the ground while you're up in the skies. Oh, sunshine, never mind, bring me all your gray skies. Yeah, the moon never seems so bright. Can't see the future, no, I can't see the past. situation. Can you make this last?
So that's pretty much it for this video. I'm sure it was a little bit random. It's just, trying to keep a healthy and holy mindset during the weekends can be a little bit tough for me. I don't know, just because I don't have a lot of routine or anything to keep me like there. It's just like have fun and chill and whatever. So it does take a little bit of character to stay on that path. Doesn't mean I shouldn't, and doesn't mean I'm gonna stop trying, because it's obviously super important. God doesn't take breaks, right? And we're not supposed to take a weekend off just because I don't need him on the weekend. That doesn't make sense. But that was basically the reason for this video, to show that even in those days that you're lacking a little bit of inspiration to follow him, it's nothing bad. It's something normal that I guess we all experience from time to time, but it's just also a wake-up call for us to have like that character and that impulse, at least, to try as much as possible to live for him and to walk on his path, even on our work off days. We don't have off days in our relationship with him. It's the same thing as if we were in a relationship with somebody else, right? We don't take a break like that just one day and then come back to the person the next day. I mean, the person might get mad, or they might get bored or tired of that. God doesn't get bored or doesn't get tired with us, even though we do this all the time. But it's also something for us to think about, like, how really should we treat our relationship with Jesus, right? We should certainly be consistent. And obviously for that, we need a lot of prayer and God's strength, because as Paul said,
"For I know that in me, that is, in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not."
So it's not in our flesh or in our bodies to actually do something right, but it just comes from Jesus. So enough of that. Thank you so much for hanging around. I love that you guys are loving this type of videos, and I'm surely going to come up with more, because what better way to, show routines and my lifestyle and whatever if it's not with Jesus in the first place. So thank you so much for watching again. I hope to see you in my next video. Goodbye.